On January 24, 2021, I published a video discussing an interesting new mobile game found on the Google Play Store, Mighty Doom. As of then, the game was in an early release stage and was only available in select regions of Canada and New Zealand, but fast forward to January of 2022, almost a full year later, and not much has changed. Mighty Doom is still in a pre-release stage and can only be downloaded in certain areas of New Zealand and Canada. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the currently available information surrounding the game, try to figure out why it hasn't been released yet, and determine if it ever will be. So, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's completely free and would really help out the channel, and of course, I would really appreciate it. Looking through the Google Play app description, Mighty Doom is described as a single-touch, top-down shooter set in the animated Doom universe that allows you to rip and tear through hundreds of challenging levels anywhere you go. It supposedly allows you to shoot, dodge, and glory kill with a single touch, swap weapons on the fly, and create unlimited carnage with classic and iconic Doom weapons and abilities. There seems to be a variety of stages and bosses, all based off of levels and enemies featured in both Doom 2016 and Eternal. They decided to bring back the Gauss Cannon and Hellraiser from 2016, which is pretty cool to see, but everything else is taken directly from Eternal. The store page also included 10 unique screenshots depicting certain aspects of the game, like the gameplay and menus, so I'll let those play for you as I talk. As you look through these, I think it'll become abundantly clear why the game hasn't fully launched yet and may never launch. This game completely misses Doom's target audience of mostly mature players, and instead chooses to focus on an audience that would most likely be in their early teens. The game is rated 12+, as it has almost no blood and gore, implements a cartoon style, and completely lacks anything resembling the type of violent imagery you typically find in a Doom game. While this may just be a fun and lighthearted mobile game, it doesn't really work as even a spin-off entry in the Doom franchise, and would probably upset quite a few hardcore fans. I do understand the viewpoint of trying to introduce a younger and more modern audience to the Doom franchise, but I just can't see very many people outside of a Doom fanbase trying this, let alone sticking with it. The reviews reflect this point, as the game is currently sitting at 2.9 stars with 608 total reviews, which is less than stellar. Although you should absolutely keep in mind that this game still isn't fully released yet and may not entirely depict the final product, the core style and mechanics have been present throughout the game in its limited updates during the past year, so most of the reviews remain valid, at least as of now. Some people seem to love the game's addictive nature and use of in-game currencies and loot drops, while some players feel as if it isn't deserving of the Doom title due to its style and usage of mechanics from other similar mobile games. Personally, I haven't been able to play it and won't be giving any sort of full opinion, and I would recommend that you wait till a full release to form an opinion as well. But even with that being said, it doesn't change the fact that Mighty Doom doesn't aim for Doom's main audience, and this may be the main factor in its absence from the global app store. It isn't being developed by id Software like every other entry in the Doom franchise, but instead, it's being created by an experienced studio known as Alpha Dog, which is currently owned by Microsoft. The lack of relevance to the main Doom franchise all around and its current player base is, in my opinion, the most likely reason they don't want a whole lot of eyes on the project. In its current state, there's a likely chance that it wouldn't be very well received, so allowing the developers to have more time to alter some of the key elements and gameplay aspects may be one of the smartest decisions they could have made regarding the project. While I may be completely wrong, and the game may remain unreleased for completely unrelated reasons, I don't think it's too far-fetched to theorize that a project like this, which has obviously had quite a bit of time and money pumped into it, is in the process of being reworked so it doesn't completely flop shortly after its release. Even though I think it's safe to say that this game would get some downloads and rake in a little extra cash even as it currently stands, I think it's time to answer the question of will this ever actually fully release? And honestly, I think that the answer is yes. It may be a more optimistic outlook, but it's pretty clear that they're still pumping resources into its development, as the game's most recent update was on November 10th of 2021. A mobile app with such massive ties to one of the most influential FPS games of all time is sure to bring in some much needed attention, and I don't think keeping it an exclusive to certain regions is going to do that. They still care enough to support the game with bug fixes and small updates every so often, even with the small player base that it currently has, so I can't really see why they wouldn't put this out sometime in 2022. They've even recently gone through the trouble of recreating the original Google Play images and restructuring the description, which is again a lot of resources to put into something that wouldn't matter otherwise. There is the obvious chance that my guess is completely wrong and that they'll just keep it as a small-time game with minor support for the next few months, but I don't really see that being the case. If it wasn't for the updates every so often and the recent changes to the store page, I may be a whole lot less optimistic, but it's seemingly heading into a better direction. I'm just crossing my fingers that they finally are able to realize why this wouldn't properly work before it's released, but that's something I'm a little less optimistic about. It may see a full release at some point in 2022, but I highly doubt that they'll be willing to make the changes and improvements necessary to make it more appealing to a focused audience. That is just pure speculation though, so don't get too set on the idea that Mighty Doom will ever release or that it will ever change. If we ever do get any sort of update on Mighty Doom, or anything else Doom related for that matter, I'll be sure to cover it here on the channel, so make sure to leave a like on today's video and consider subscribing. If you're already a fan of the channel and want to show some more support, you can always find links in the description to my merch store and my Discord server. The Discord server is completely free and is an easy way to better connect with the community, while the merch store is filled with great designs and comfy clothing, so I would recommend checking both of them out. That's all I have for you today though, so thank you all for watching. Until next time.